Okay, welcome back. Now we are on the second question type in the TOEFL Excellence course about the listening section. This is the detail questions of the listening section. Now this is very similar to the factual information and detail questions in the reading section. Obviously, the only difference is you're getting the information from a listening file or audio file instead of a reading passage. And as I stated in the previous video about the main idea questions, you are not going to be listening to just portions of the text. Like in the reading section, they give you the whole reading passage, and then for each of the questions, they show a small portion of the text. That doesn't happen in the listening section. You have to listen to the audio file just once. You only get to listen to it once, and then you have to answer the questions. So the ability to take effective notes is really important for this one and for all of the questions in the listening sections. So you certainly have to be able to focus because it's probable that the room that you'll be in might be a little bit noisy. And so you have to focus, not pay attention to the other people around you, just pay attention to the audio file, take notes. If you need a little bit of extra practice on how to take notes, I've linked a course here, so you can press that and it takes you to this course here. This is not created by TOEFL Excellence or GiveMeSomeEnglish. It's from a different group, a different person, but I think that this course will be very helpful for you to give you some ideas on how to take effective notes. The whole focus of this is basically skills that you need to succeed in college or university. So that should be helpful for you. As always, you'll need the intermediate level of English skills and vocabulary, at least that much. That's true for the entire exam. You'll have to understand you have to have the comprehension of how and why certain details are related. Now, this is not necessarily related to any particular task that you have to do. This is just referring to the fact that you have to be able to comprehend English sentence structure, like to know how information is related to which subject and which object and things like that. So that really comes with the comprehension of the English sentence structure, which you should have if you have the intermediate level of English skills. So then also the ability to determine which details are important and to recognize key words and phrases. Now, these two sort of go hand in hand because they'll definitely be giving you some information which seems like it might be important. You'll probably end up starting to write some of it down, but then you'll find as you listen further into the audio file that some of the information that they give you is not really important to the actual information that they're giving you. So being able to determine which is important and which is not. Now, that part is related to your taking of the notes. When it comes to answering the questions, they're very similar to all the different question types before. You have to rely on the notes that you've taken and or your memory. Probably a little bit of both. You'll have some of your memory to rely on and a little bit of your notes, because the notes are supposed to be done so that they trigger your memory. So when you write down just one word, maybe they're speaking so fast you only get to write down one word. So looking at that word should make you remember what they said about that topic. That's basically how notes work. Now, one thing that's interesting about this one is that you might have a question that asks you to choose more than one answer. It's not very common now, but there are some reports that the TOEFL is starting to change here in 2019, and that the question types that will ask you to choose more than one answer are becoming a little bit more common. So that's definitely a possibility. Now, the examples are pretty straightforward. As with a lot of the different question types in the exam, when you have your different answer choices, there will almost always be at least one answer choice which is clearly wrong. So you can eliminate that one, and then going through and eliminating the answer choices which are wrong will usually leave you with only like two possible answer choices, and then you can use your notes to determine which is the better. So that's basically how that goes. Now, one thing I wanted to mention about the information that was in the official video about this question type. First of all, I completely agree with everything that they said. I thought that was a good video. It's also a very short video, and that's because there's really not that much that needs to be said about this particular question type. As the speaker in the video says, it's pretty straightforward. You simply need to pay attention to the details of what is being talked about in the audio file choose which information is the important information, write that down, and be prepared to answer some questions about it. Of course, you're not going to get questions about all of the details, but you'll have, at least a couple of those question types. And that's basically it. So just make sure that you take effective notes, understand how certain information is related and which information is important, and then refer to your notes to choose the answer choices. And that's pretty much it for the detailed questions in the listening section of the TOEFL IBT exam. Thank you for stopping by, and we will see you in the next lesson. Have an excellent day.